to the MovieJar podcast, the show where we review movies, shit talk each other's opinions, and all get sick besides Chris for some reason. I'm Alex, and I'm dying of an undisclosed illness.
I'm Kaya. I'm also dying of an illness that is not undisclosed.
I'm Cameron. I'm dying of an also undisclosed illness and always late to recording.
I am Chris, and I am at an undisclosed location that you'll never find.
I'd hope.
We do want to apologize to our viewers for not having, or I guess listeners. Well, we don't really have a spot. Anyway, we didn't have something on last week because we were all chock a block with just shit to do. So we didn't get to it, but we're bringing you today a 2022, a 2022 classic, which is Prey. Prey is a prequel film in an era where it's a prequel spin-off film of the Predator franchise, where in a market where usually these things are pretty ass, where in my opinion it actually supersedes the original. It follows the story of Naru, who is a Comanche Nation, uh, I guess, hunter-gatherer, if you will, as she as she learns what it means to actually be a hunter, whilst fighting off the predator and also the French.
In apparently
Uh,
Oklahoma,
Oklahoma. Oh my god.
I think.
Oklahoma. I barely know.
Okay,
Oh my god.
first of all, can we talk about the fact that this film was very clearly made to be on a big screen, and yet it did not get a theatrical release? It was just released straight to streaming.
Mm-hmm.
And that angers me so much.
It angers me so. Oh yeah, but the predator. That one. Okay.
Autism.
Before we get into my breakdown, because I have a lot to say on this film. I will just say
Mental breakdown.
my initial thoughts on this film. I was the one who put this on my list. If you can't tell, hint, hint, viewers. Whoever does the opening is the one who actually had it on their list. So you know.
Except for the
But
first episode. That was on Alex's list, but Alex kept fucking up the intro, so I did it.
yeah, because I am a silly bisexual. Okay, I'm allowed to. But I've seen this film 3 times now, and honestly, it gets better every time. I'd rank it probably a firm 8 out of 10. I have some issues with the plot, but overall, I'm gonna sneeze.
That's a really good ranking.
Oh god,
Dude.
I'm trying to sneeze and it's not sneezing. Prey.
Oh, yeah, pardon me.
I am.
Chris, say your opinion.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I have problems with it. Not of any specific nature, but of more like a minor annoyance nature. Like how the axes were made out of obsidian and how that's so shit of an idea because it's such a brittle resource that you intend to use for cutting, which is a
Um,
repetitive action that requires stress on either side. Anyway,
It is historically
minor.
accurate.
What do you mean?
That's what they did.
Someone
they
hasn't
did
played
not.
Minecraft.
They did
Someone doesn't know, brother. That
Obsidian axes.
obsidian has been used as a tool and as a sharp object for weaponry and such for
cutting
thousands of years. It is
If
very, very sharp.
it's sharp, it's not strong.
And
Okay, different. There's a difference between tensile strength and hardness.
it's historically
Obsidian
accurate,
as a
Chris. It
It's
doesn't
not.
matter. It doesn't
It's
have to matter.
not.
It is.
Okay,
Obsidian is
okay.
so shit.
It doesn't have
we'll
to
get-
matter
we'll
though.
get to- We'll get to this. We'll get to this in a little bit. Cameron, quickly, say your initial thoughts on the film.
I really like this film. I think it's like Predator has been very much on a downwards trend since the first movie, and I think this has been like I have. Don't get me wrong. I have issues with the very first film. I think it's entirely carried by Arnold Schwarzenegger, but at the end of the day, it's still an amazing film. So, and I think that this film holds up to that standard and legacy, mind you.
That's a very good initial thought. And Kaya, you
Um,
you say your opinion, woman.
okay.
Whoa, okay.
Whoa,
Look, this
okay.
film already this film already has too many sexism losses in it, okay?
Um, look, this is literally the only film in the Predator franchise I've ever seen. Um, but I really liked it. I'd probably give it like uh yeah, I'd probably give it like an 8. There was a few little random issues that I had that weren't really issues. It's just like, oh, that was a bit strange. Um, but this is also the first like movie in a while that I'd been like genuinely like looking forward to watching. So, and it delivered. So,
Yeah, that's pretty fair. I mean, as a seasoned Predator head myself, I don't want to know what the name for the Predator fans are.
I am the
Um,
child.
I am the
so
child predator.
as a Predator myself, no. Um, look,
Why I order?
I'm gonna contend with Cameron a little bit here, but honestly, I don't think you should watch any of the other Predator films. I mean, watch the original if you just want to see where it started, but it's like a gay slasher. Because that is how I would classify it. Okay, I've really thought on this one because I've had 2 weeks to ferment my ideas on this film and the franchise as a whole. And like Predator 1, people paid money to go to a theater to watch a bunch of big, sweaty, muscly men get hunted down by another big, 7 foot tall man. And like, there's one woman in that film. There is one woman in the original Predator film. The rest of it is shirtless men. It follows
In a
all of the
jungle.
slasher it follows all of the slasher things, but instead of a final girl, there's a final Arnie.
Yeah,
Gay
that's how
slasher.
that's how most Arnie movies are, apart from Terminator 2.
The sexual tension between Arnie and Carl Weathers is like palpable. I want to bone. But
Yeah,
honestly,
and
I would say that Prey is the best film that actually. The Predator in this film is much different to the Predator in all the other Predator films because it's actually the Predator in all the other films has higher tech. Like instead of like the crossbow, he has like a shoulder-mounted plasma gun. Um, being honest, I kind of prefer this Predator anyway. Like, I feel like we're gonna have to talk about the scene where he kills all the French people.
Finally.
oh,
Yeah.
that was like number one on my list.
Oh yeah.
I watched a few like YouTube videos. I watched a few YouTube videos just to try to like, since I know literally nothing about the franchise, just to sort of get a vague idea. Um, and the thing that was brought up a lot in these videos was that it was this Predator specifically's like first time on Earth. Which like it checks out, sort of like, you know, he goes after like a snake and then after a wolf and then a bear. Um,
Yeah.
because the whole thing is they're trying to get like the strongest predator, right? Or like
Yeah.
yeah. So like that makes sense that it'd be its first that it's its first time on Earth.
Hmm. I really want to talk about the Predator design in this movie.
Oh, it's so nice.
Okay, I love OG Predator design, and there is one thing with the 2018 autism movie that we shall not be talking about in any other way, and that is the design of the Predator in that movie. I really like it, but we don't talk about that movie anymore. So, you know, the fact that we've kind of that even going back to when was this film set? It was what year? What century?
1600s.
Yeah,
I
so
actually
even going
did like
back,
research while watching the movie because I saw like
mm,
the bear traps or the rabbit traps or whatever. And I'm like, were they around in this period of time? And Ken confirmed they were. So,
I like the fact that it actually, just as a side note, I think that this movie fixes quite a lot about the Predator franchise as a whole, retroactively. But I like the fact that this also displays the Predator as developing their own technology alongside um alongside a similar pace to humanity. Similar pace, yes, but they're already at different points. Like, these
mm.
guys already have space travel. I also like the fact that they mentioned like the ship being like the Thunderbird.
Oh my god, when I saw, I'm like,
Oh, that
yes,
was so
the
cool.
subtle references. Well, not so subtle, but like the references to like Native American like mythology, because they referred to it as like this other like this creature. I forget what they called it, but this other creature that's in Native American mythology. And I'm like, yes, let's go.
Mm.
Because Native American mythology is so fucking cool. It's
Oh my
so
god, I
interesting.
I love it. I love it so much.
I def
Um,
I definitely agree. Now, Chris,
Yeah.
before we get into any of the heavier topics, you mentioned that you have done some research into it, and the two main things that you had issue with in watching the film were the obsidian thing and the body type thing. So civilly, list your grievances.
All right. So okay, this mainly relates to the guy who I completely forget the name of,
Abe.
carrying the big cat, which could be like anywhere from 50 to 80 kilos over his shoulder, just casually. Uh, whilst looking very stringy, and I don't really care about that. He doesn't have to have Titanic arms. The main thing that I want to see is a massive torso. He does not have a massive torso. He would not be able to carry that thing whatsoever on one shoulder. Like, there was a documentary that I watched a while ago about, I think it was, uh, there were miners in the mountains who carried basically like damn near 100 pounds worth of sulfur, like ore, from like toxic conditions. Their torsos were huge. Their arms were that big. Their hands were bulked up, mainly because they just have to grip really odd objects all the damn time, so that trains their fingers. This person did not have that whatsoever. Additionally, like I feel as though some of the cast members matched it pretty well. I feel as though the main character,
Naru.
pardon?
No, not Naru, that was her name.
Naru. Okay. So, Naru. I think that Naru probably would have been a bit more gaunt, but that's just me. I think that she could have been a bit more gaunt. These are really minor gripes. Um, yeah, that was about the body types pretty much, just because of the way that people carried shit in those days. You'd see big torso dudes with big necks, big fingers and legs, and you didn't have to have big arms. Anyway, on the subject of the obsidian tools, the reason why an obsidian axe is a really stupid idea is because on impact, most obsidian shit just breaks. So things like the Makahuitl, which is the wood sword with like the teeth in them, the obsidian teeth, those could cut off a horse's head. Good, good and well. Um, but they shattered on impact because it's glass. And if you apply any form of like horizontal force to a brittle object, it's gonna tear because it's meant for tensile strength, not for bendability. Uh, that's why, brittle shit tends to break when you apply those forces. I think that they could have probably done more with like knife work rather than axe work. I think the idea of throwing your very brittle obsidian axe to pull yourself out of a mire, whilst resourceful, it's probably gonna shatter and just be useless. Anyway, these were just things that I found annoying.
See,
But
the thing with the obsidian though is the way that obsidian breaks is very specific. If you have like you have a okay, so imagine you just have like a little chunk of obsidian, right? It's like in the shape of an axe head. If you hit it like head on with like the blade with something, it's not gonna break as easily as you think. If you hit it from the side, it'll shatter. But the way that obsidian breaks is it breaks easily if you apply pressure like across it, but not so much if you apply it head on. And it's been historically used since the Neolithic times. Like they obviously know what they're doing.
Yeah, but the entire reason for the muck, fuck, I need to fucking look this up because it's
The muck.
makwa huitl.
Yeah, but it
The
was
reason the makwa
designed for
huitl,
that purpose. It was designed so that the obsidian would shatter.
yes, which is my
Also,
point, which is why I
But
think that a
it's a
giant axe
different
head
but
made
it's a
out of
different
obsidian.
weapon made for a
It's a
different
different.
it's a
It's
different
a
weapon made for a different purpose.
Yes, it's a different weapon made for a different purpose because the materials presented have different properties. Now, the reason why a giant axe head would not be a good idea is simply because it was shatter. Now, if you apply a direct force to it, yes, you're right, it will go through and into the target. If you apply any amount of side pressure to that, it's just not gonna friggin' work. Which is why I think that a rock axe, which is actually something that they did use, it's more of a bludgeoning thing, but with like an ovoid-shaped head.
is
Because
it
guess what?
confirmed
You
that
can
she was using obsidian?
it okay, yes, it was obsidian. I 100% believe it was obsidian in that movie because when she held it up to the light, it had an orange see-through glow. That is obsidian glass. You
wait,
look up
hold
an
on.
obsidian glass held up to light, glows an orange.
Teacher, I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, so when you say horizontal force, is you would never apply a horizontal force to an axe.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay, no. Define
you-
horizontal force, because when I think horizontal force, I think the
A
blade upright.
bending force. Now, if you
Yeah,
apply
but you wouldn't bend a
That's
axe head.
You're not. That's
exactly.
not the point. That's not the point. When you hit something, you don't have a fucking microscopic perfect placement. Regardless of how good you are at swinging an object, there's going to be some sort of horizontal bend to it. Even if you like, so if you hit a meaty target and they're moving, it's the, and you have your hand still on the handle. Congratulations, you can tear off those pieces just by having your hand there and the object is still moving. That's like that's a moving you're hitting a moving target.
Hmm.
So
But I feel
okay,
like that would be an
It's like
effective
the fact that
killing tool.
it's like the fact that they used obsidian for arrowheads. And
yeah, because
they still use it for scalpels.
Another point would be, and this isn't to demean your point, Chris. I'll engage the. It's not incredibly strong. Another point would be is that the axe she was using actually specifically was mentioned in the movie to not be used for war. It's an axe that's meant to be used for cutting roots out of the ground. They mention at the start of the movie that her dad, who I think is dead, um,
then
her
I think
dad.
that's even worse. Because like
Well,
okay, you're on the ground, you're on the ground, you're trying to get to the roots of something. What if you cut your finger? Congratulations, this very very sharp object has now cut off your finger. Because congratulations, obsidian is that damn sharp. Now what if it chips? Now you've got obsidian in the ground, and if you try and dig around for the roots, congratulations, you've just fucking caused yourself a flesh wound and gotten debris in the wound. Congratulations, infection. You lose your hand. It's just a stupid point, which is why people in the Neolithic ages.
You're applying modern logic to a
It's not modern
historical
logic.
context.
It's not modern logic if it's not stupid. Okay, if you people back in the
Wait,
day were not stupid. They would have used more blunt ovoid-shaped rocks as relative smashing or mashing tools compared to cutting. But if you go into like I don't know, a cooking setting, like obsidian knives, I could definitely see that. Simply because like you're in a setting where it's a slashing motion, you might cut yourself, true. But it's less of a repeated powered action compared to, you know,
Would
chopping
it?
something with an axe.
But you don't have
But
to,
would it
because
not have
that's
been
what they
easier to?
used. It doesn't matter because that is what was used back then. I don't get your
That's not
point.
what was used back then.
Yes,
It
it
was.
was. Yes, it
Neolithic
was.
axe. Neo
This isn't
This isn't the
Neolithic.
Neolithic age, Chris. This is the 1600s.
1600s
Brother.
axes. Uh,
Here is
Fucking Comanche.
here is the USDA saying
Also
that they
they-
used it.
saying
That
that they
it is
used
the forest.
obsidian axes.
Yes,
Ain't
it was
no
used for a lot
fucking
of
way.
tools because of how easily accessible it was.
Let me
Yeah,
check
that
this
makes
shit.
that makes sense. And when it comes down to getting stuff out of the ground, it makes sense that that they'd be careful about it. I actually looked this up in
Obsidian tool.
reference of trying to figure out what cookie I was gonna give one of the characters.
Oh shit, I haven't done that.
Arrowheads, spears, knives, scrapers, and drills. Not axes.
Scrape. It's. Brother. The axe that she uses isn't a war axe. It's not meant to be a weapon. It is meant to be used as a gathering tool that she utilizes as a weapon.
Hold on, hold
The
on.
entire idea of an obsidian axe is stupid to me for the reason that you have this long, sharp object that, when placed under a bending force,
Hold on.
breaks. If you have a shortened sort of
But it's not meant
obsidian,
to be.
what do you what do you mean not meant to be?
It's not.
That's what it is.
It's a weapon that was made to not be meant to not be put under bending force.
Then why would you make an axe?
Because
An
they
axe
use
on
it.
impact.
The specific type of. Okay, so obsidian has been used for arrowheads, right? So like a flying projectile, right? The axe that she
Yes.
uses, she utilizes as a flying projectile.
Okay, that's
She
even
utilizes it
worse. Use
like a
javelin.
spear. She
Use a
utilizes it like a spear or a javelin, which also use obsidian.
Yeah, they might use obsidian, but you can replace that head more easily versus if you have an axe head. Okay, you just used way more obsidian than is worthwhile. You have a larger process to go through in order to create that because the knapping process requires you'd have a larger obsidian chunk that you break off bits from compared to something like an arrowhead, which you can take a smaller bit of obsidian and knap into shape. Now, sorry, I need to collect myself. If you have a javelin, that head is more easily replaceable, more easy to throw, and you don't apply as much sideward force as when you'd be hitting something with a hatchet or an axe head, which it's more of a hatchet, let's be honest. So if you hit something with a hatchet going down, even if you try and keep it stable, your wrist has some movement from the force going up into your wrist and hand.
Hey,
So
Chris,
there is sideward movement there. Yes?
when in the movie did she hold it up to the light?
Okay. Actually, if we get up the movie, I'll be able to find it. Because
No,
it was when
I
she
have the movie. Just tell me when
it was
around.
it was when she was practicing throwing it, I believe. It had like an orange glow through it, with it is a dead giveaway for an obsidian axe.
Like practicing throwing it with the rope on it, or when she was hunting the
I
moose?
think I think with the rope on it.
Okay, well I'll go to that point and I will check that out.
Did you
I mean,
stream actually?
I won't do that because I don't want to risk us getting copyrighted, and I also don't want to like.
It's also gonna fuck up my editing it.
Yeah.
I see.
Wait, Cameron, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Also, I found a image of a historical site from 1.2 million years ago in Ethiopia, but of a area where they made several hand axe heads out of obsidian.
That's no, that would be.
Can you send me
A
that?
team
Can
of
you send me
researchers
that, please?
affiliated with several institutions in Spain, working with two colleagues from France and another from Germany, has discovered an obsidian hand axe making workshop for 1.2 million years ago in the Awash Valley in Ethiopia.
1.2 million years ago. I thought humans came around like fucking
Humans have been around for a very long time.
If you're thinking
hold on.
40,000, that's just Indigenous Australian.
No, no, not that.
Is that glow what you're referring to?
Uh, no, it was. Well, you can see the edge tip glowing and being a little bit see-through. However, I believe she held it up to the light at some point.
This one? This one?
It's very. Yes, that was the one. It's very weird, but yes, that.
Okay, I cannot comment on this. For reasons reasons that my eyes will not allow me.
For context, dear viewers, Cameron is slightly colorblind.
Slightly. Fucking hell.
Cameron is colorblind. Well, like it's not like full black and white colorblind. It's like a specific
that's
type.
very, very rare.
So I don't know.
Monochromia.
Take a look at these.
Sorry, go ahead, Alex.
Okay, let me just get a picture of.
Because the
Light
shape of
shining-
these are hand. Okay, it's not the classic like wood in the. It's like if you have a sharp rock and you use it like an axe to cut. It's not like at the end of something where you'd have to. Because the reason you have a handle is to get more power into it, and that has like some rebound because there are forces being delivered through that handle into your hand, and would thus shatter the blade. But if you have like a sharpened rock, like obsidian, like sharpened obsidian rock, that makes sense because you can like, it's not gonna, you're not gonna pound it. You're gonna use it like a sort of knife essentially.
That looks like a spearhead put onto an axe. Sorry, put onto a stick.
Sorry, could you put the thing there?
What do you mean?
That's the link to the hand axe thing in
Yeah.
Ethiopia. Yeah. So
Yeah, I saw that.
yeah, it is something that was used. So it
And
doesn't
even then,
it doesn't have to like bro, people use like rocks and shit like millions of years ago. Like it doesn't have to be a super like effective tool. It doesn't matter. It was still used back then.
additionally, I think it kind of is more of a part of her character arc of learning to be use her ingenuity a little bit more to get a one up.
And also just culture.
Yeah, I mean, she has to use the tools around her, and um, she has to attach a rope to it in order to try and get a leg up. And I understand it's not entirely, uh,
It's not the most
But it-
practical.
well, yeah, the story is historically accurate to a point, but it's not a story about specifically the Comanche nation. Like, the Comanche nation was based around Texas, yet I not entirely sure what Oklahoma is.
I think it's nearby.
Oklahoma
This is
is
just
a
what
US.
that's just what I heard from a video that I was just watching this morning. Which was I actually do kind of yeah, Oklahoma is neighboring Texas, but I did want to
Yeah.
bring up something from that video like later, not exactly right now.
So a small historical gripe from Chris. Um,
Small.
Small.
I get your point, Chris, but I kinda disagree on its importance.
It's not. It's a minor gripe.
Okay, well, you do raise a good point. Perhaps they could have properly made sure they were using the right tools for the axes, but I don't know. I think it serves a character arc to have her one weapon be something that isn't particularly great on its own.
Also, because she probably like wasn't really given access to like the actual weapons used, because haha, woman. So
Mm.
Sexism lost.
she's working with what she's got.
Yeah. But after that, uh,
Side tangent.
small fun side tangent.
We've
I
already
have
been talking
to.
for half an hour, and most of it has been about obsidian axes.
And
Yes.
Hey man, no one comes here for like legitimate film criticism. They come here to listen to us ramble about weird
No
shit.
one comes.
No one
no,
comes.
people do come.
But I actually, this is something that I wanted to mention, and we can go into small side bits here, but it's something that I particularly wanted to mention because it's after watching this film 3 times now, it's something I kind of want to get off my chest. Um, I think what makes this film better than every Predator film, and believe me, I've watched all of them, some of them multiple times, um, is that it actually tries to draw an equivalence of the Predator to something larger than itself. Uh, I may be sick, and God can't stop me from yapping. So, one thing that's brought up in the film pretty obviously is colonization, particularly the time in American history where the U.S. Army and hunters went through and killed bison and buffalo all across Native American lands in an attempt to starve them out.
Oh yeah, all the
I
buffalo
think,
being skinned.
yeah.
What the fuck was up with
Oh
that?
God. Well, here's the thing, Kaya, that I'll mention for you, because there's a little bit of history lesson. I saw this in a documentary once, and I've done a little bit more research, but forgive me, I've been sick. I don't have my primary resources on hand. But basically, how it goes is I think it was during Manifest Destiny, which was this American project to seize the entirety of what we now know as the United States. They realized they were getting severe pushback from Native American nations all across the country. Particularly, I think the Comanche Nation was particularly strong because,
What do you
as
mean you
Chris
don't want to be
mentioned,
colonized?
yeah, as Chris actually told me about this in the film, and also I found out later, because Chris told me, I was like, oh, that's interesting. Is that true? The Comanche were actually very good horse riders. So if they got a hold of horses, they could really do some damage to the Americans. And what the Americans realized was that the Comanche didn't really have any agriculture. They actually had a diet which mostly revolved around foraging for berries and bison, and other nations relied on buffalo. So what they did is that the U.S. Army themselves and also other colonialists, as seen in this film, France, would go out there and would just kill, skin, and behead buffalo and bison as a way of basically starving out the Native Americans um, and trying to beat them in submission. I think I found a quote from The Atlantic, which was one general saying that one dead buffalo is a dead Indian.
Damn.
Christ.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a particularly, I say it's a particular shame in American history, but like,
What
um,
part of American history
Some people don't
isn't?
think so.
bison and buffalo purge. Yeah, from the Atlantic, I'll link it here. Kai, if you want to, you can in YouTube, you could put like something up here. But here's the title: Kill every buffalo you can. Every dead buffalo is an Indian gone. From the Atlantic.
Wow.
Um, they skinned them, they killed them, and particularly in this film, we know that the predator isn't the one doing it. It's the French. These French colonists. Now, on the point of the original film, I can't entirely confirm this is word of mouth, but allegedly the original film was marketed as just your normal Cold War film, right? Like American versus the Soviets, and then the Predator and the whole Predator stuff was actually like this hidden thing. Audiences didn't know they were going in to see like an alien movie, right? Um, but the original movie doesn't really say much. I get it; it's an '80s film; it's not going to, but it doesn't stop me from sort of critiquing it because it sets itself um to summarize the first film, it's like a U.S. Special Forces team is sent out into the wilderness to kill a bunch of communists, and then they're hunted down by the Predator, only to be revealed to them that them hunting the Predator was actually the sole reason they were there. Which does have mild commentary on the war, but of course, Arnie himself is like a fervent anti-socialist. He was big into Reagan, big into Nixon, so the film couldn't really say much, nor do I really think the directors wanted to say much. The following films all were cheap cash grabs that just were trying to cash in early on like that 80s nostalgia. The second film is the only what is like so bad it's good. There's a scene where the predator, because the predator can like in the other films the predator can like take words from other people and then say it as a way of like hunting them down. And he's having the showdown with the policeman on top of a building, and as the predator's dangling off a building, he's going, "Motherfucker, fuck you, shit." It's really funny. But in this film, what it actually does is it breaks the predator down to its core aspects of a vain hunter that has this sense of faux honorability, and it really interrogates what it means to be a hunter-gatherer in the society. And you can draw a direct connection with how the French and how the predator are sort of very similar entities. I say the French and the predator. Oh my god, they're very similar entities
The true villain in
in this
this movie
film.
is the French.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like a Big Beard in the film. That's
The
the
fact that
French
his
guy with
name
the
is
big
just
beard.
Big Beard.
That's the first French guy you see, right?
Yeah,
The
it's the
one
one
with
that
the
goes,
beard.
"Sacre bleu." Yeah, the one gets killed at the end. Um, like he is very similar to the Predator. They both just hunt for the sake of hunting. Um, and they both have this sense of honorability. He calls Naru a savage, idiot savage. Colonialists themselves also thought they were doing some sort of nobility thing, because if you don't know any colonialist history, they made up a bunch of things about the Native Americans to get the populace to like rile up and kill them all.
It's like, oh my god, they're
Um,
savages. Oh my god.
Cannibalism, which
Oh
there is
my
an actual
Yo,
god.
there is an
hey,
Based?
actually,
yo.
and particularly I think it's important because it also in I've watched this film 3 times. I've seen Naru 3 times go through this journey. Um, and I think ultimately the underlying theme of the film is that the only reason that we kill and hunt is simply just to survive. Anything more than that is just like vanity. It's just like you become the savage. Um, and we don't have any actual reason to do that. And I don't know, I find that to be a very, I find that to be a very interesting theme that a Predator film, of all things, tried to interrogate. Like,
I mean, I think it's interesting. It's interesting because it's mainly because the whole thing of nowadays, yes, hunting is only done for vanity, especially by the 1%, right? But also that goes back to way before even anything to do with colonization, back when hunter gatherers became, the whole farming revolution. Like there was no point to hunt anymore, but people still did it because it showed dominance. Um, and obviously you still need a balanced meal and everything like that, but Neolithic people didn't understand that. There was no science like that back then, right? So, is Neolithic the right time period?
No.
no,
Or am I being
Sorry.
horribly racist?
Sorry,
Neolithic is
I
like
zoned out.
the is the
What's the
original
context?
of the brother. Um yeah, Neolithic is like the like Homo sapiens like still in Africa.
Yeah, yeah. So, no, so I am saying the right thing, right? Right? Or am
not
I
not
getting
not
this
really.
wrong?
The using my ancient history class, like
If
the
we're
Neolithic.
talking from a temporal point of view, it's from 10,000 BC to 2,200 BC. So
When was
Yeah,
the farming revolution?
farming revolution, I think, came before the Neolithic
The
actually.
that was the Mesopotamia the
Yeah,
Mesopotamia River.
Mesopotamia. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, I'm getting them mixed up.
Like pre-Egypt, pre-China.
Mm, yeah, I'm getting it all mixed up.
no,
Do
fine.
excuse me,
Okay,
we're all sick.
so the the first agricultural revolution came in 10,000 BC, so that's literally the start of the Neolithic. The very start on the dot.
Oh wow, okay.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Win for me, I guess.
Hang on.
Just
Hang on.
barely. Like a year before and you'd be fucked, but like
Ah, shit.
What do
Yeah.
you Oh right. Oh, 10,000. I thought for some reason I thought you were
And-
saying like 10,000 and like 1,000. I'm like, hang on a minute.
Oh, they're not
My bro-
Americans.
I'm like, wait a
My
fucking
brother
minute.
in Christ. My brother.
Brother, I misheard you.
For
No,
real.
but
For real.
I mean, I don't know. I find the fact that I actually really appreciate this film, despite some, like Chris, very minor issues I have with the film. Um, I respect it for actually not cashing in, because this film quite literally could have just been another one of those, like, cash-ins on 80s nostalgia. I'm looking at any of the new Ghostbusters films.
Hey,
Um,
okay, hang on. No. Side tangent. I watched the newest Ghostbuster film last night. Yes, it was a cash in, but it was actually still good. I really enjoyed it and had
I
it had gay gay people in it. Therefore win.
there's a new Ghostbusters.
Yeah, don't
Apparently.
worry about it.
It is a kid from Stranger Things. I don't
Disgusting.
know which one.
I'm glad that he's doing other stuff now.
Disgusting.
there was-
I don't like Stranger Things.
Wait, there was
It's like
one
a weirdly
after.
odd
Is
show
he
paired.
also not a Zionist? Or is that
No,
the
that's a
other
different
Stranger
one.
Things kid?
That's another one.
Ah.
Wait, there was a Ghostbusters after the 2016 one?
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
been
There were
several.
two. What the?
Yeah, there's been two.
Okay.
No, Chris, trust me, I don't blame you for not realizing.
Anyway, Alex.
I don't. This film could have just been a cash grab. It could have just done what. I know you said we wouldn't mention it, but The Predator did, which was just
No.
try and absolutely cash in
Hello,
on
I like
previous
money.
Predator nostalgia. Which it does. This film is filled with references to the other films, like because we're never gonna review it on this podcast, and none of you should watch it anyway. The pistol at the end, that she has.
Oh
from
yeah,
the
I
French
read about that.
Yeah, that is a pistol that shows up at the end of Predator 2 when a bunch of the predators just like waltz out of a ship and give the main character the gun and be like, "Peace out." Um
Hell yeah.
and also it does have lines which just have to be in every Predator film, like if it bleeds,
If it
we
bleeds, we
can
can
and
kill
come
it.
on. Come on, do it, kill me, come on. Like
Okay,
just
but
has
like the
power.
way that bro said that in the fucking, oh my god.
Do it, kill me.
No. If it bleeds, we can kill it. Like, bro. Okay. That guy is the guy I'm
they
giving
just
my cookie to. Mild simp.
Oh, yeah, me too. He's
I am
Chad. Like,
simping. Bro is an absolute
and I
Chad.
Chris and
Oh, I
when
love
we
him.
Chris and I, when we watched the movie, and he said, "I'm not afraid of any bear." We were like, "Nah." And then he came back and killed the lion, and we were like, "Oh, he's not afraid of any bear." Also,
Tabe
I
is
really-
like.
He's such a
He's
Chad.
such a Chad.
He's also
Oh.
not a sexist, which is great.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Feminism win.
This was his first
I-
acting role.
Really?
This was
Fuck off.
this was Dakota Beaver's first acting role. Like at least in
What?
like a feature film. It's the only thing on his IMDb. And
Uh,
Dead Meat
No
Horror Awards
way.
too. And like everything else is like podcasts. Or
That's
like one-off TV
insane.
episodes.
Hey, Dakota Beaters, if you're watching this, I will cast you in whatever you want.
Same brother.
He was amazing.
Oh my god. Well, yeah, because they wanted an all Native American cast, and like, bro, oh my god.
Except for the French.
Dude,
Except for the French.
amazing.
Imagine being a French-speaking person and finally getting a film in like. In, like, a
It's
West
this
society
movie.
to do it, and then you're like, hold on, mon ami, what role have I been given? And then it's like you were gonna play like the most decrepit French person ever, and you're gonna be beheaded by a shield. You're gonna play this swagged up, swashbuckling French guy only to be killed by your own bullet because the predator stood still.
And this movie isn't even gonna be released in theaters.
Baller.
That is something that makes me so genuinely upset because you watch the movie and you can tell it was the cinematographers were very intentional, and I'm utilizing my film school knowledge, haha. They were very intentional with the way that they shot it, and with the color grading as well in the edit process, but they were very, very intentional with the way that they filmed it because, and I'm pretty sure this is like a quote from one of them I saw like in a video, so I'm paraphrasing a paraphrase, that they thought that it was going to be released in cinemas. They shot it and they made it. They
Damn.
made it with the intention of it being released in cinemas, and then oh nope, onto Hulu you go.
Onto Disney Plus.
Yes.
Well, no, it's on
Hulu,
Hulu
yeah.
because like we don't have Hulu in Australia, so everything that's on Hulu is on Disney Plus. Like that's what that's what Disney Plus Star is for.
Oh.
Because like, bro,
Okay.
American Disney Plus didn't get like the Deadpool movies until like 3 years ago, and we had them at least 5 years ago. Like they went on Disney
Damn,
Plus.
okay.
Yeah, like because I
Yeah.
remember seeing like because I follow Disney Plus on Instagram, and I remember seeing them posting about like, oh hey, we're putting Deadpool up, and I'm like, it's already been up for like 2 years. That's how I watched them.
Oh.
Mm.
But yeah, okay, I want to bring up the design of the Predator from a slight like now I'm paraphrasing and copying this guy on YouTube. I'll link him in the description or some shit. Because I don't remember his name off the top of my head. But basically the design of the Predator is different to the ones from the other movies, right? And
Mhm.
it's it's slight different in it's quite different in its especially its skull in its facial structure. Um and also in like its skin tone and stuff to others because the most of the other predators that we see are a lot more suited to the jungle, right? And this predator is more suited to a desert or a savanna. And the basically what this guy in the video was saying is that like the home planet, right, will have different various like different biomes and stuff, right? It's not just going to be like one whole thing, right? And so this specific species of predator or like subspecies or whatever is likely resides in some sort of desert or savanna. Like the way that the eye structure specifically, like the way that the bones like it slightly hangs over the eyes, sort of as a way to like protect their eyes from the sun. Because their home planet is quite close to the sun as far as I'm aware. They're subjected to a lot of heat and like radiation, which is also why the skin is darker than some of the other predators that maybe reside in the jungle. And basically, this guy applied a lot of like human evolution theory to the predators, like the way that his mandibles are
No.
shaped, and different to the way that previous predator mandibles are shaped, because this is like 400 or so like years prior to the like 300 400 years prior to the time place of the original Predator movie, and that sort of implies like an evolution that has occurred in that time period because like the way that the mandibles of this predator are structured is more to break bone and such. And if we bring it back to human evolution, back way back, the Neanderthals and Homo sapiens, whatever, they discovered that like a way to get a lot of nutrition is bone marrow. And so what they would do is they would gnaw and chew on bones and they would break the bones to get to the bone marrow inside. And you could sort of see like a similar thing with the way that the mandibles and the jaw of this predator are shaped, that it's probably designed to be eating things different to the predators that exist in the jungle. And various other things like that, like the his skin is darker, or its skin is darker because it would be more exposed to the sun, and the dread tentacle sort of things on the back of his head, there's more of them and they're longer than the ones on previous predators because it's like there's apparently a common theory in the predator fandom, which is not a sentence I ever thought I would say, that that like the dread tentacle things in the back of the heads can be used as a way to cool them down because that's something that you see in prehistoric animals apparently. And so it would make sense that a predator that is designed and has adapted to live in the desert would have more of them and they'd be longer for more potential to cool down easier.
Mm.
You
I
are
just think
right.
it's fucking cool. And also the the skull helmet thing, as opposed to the metal ones that we see other predators use, because there are these different predator groups, or like I guess tribes or clans, I guess you could call them. Who knows,
Yeah.
subspecies. They
Yeah,
are in
we're
different
friends.
areas. They would have different sort of like custom things or behaviors. And so while the bone skull isn't super, it's not as effective as a metal one. And even though they have the technology to have a metal one, it could be something like that is quote unquote like cultural or whatever, I guess. Um, that like they use it, especially because this is implied to be this predator's very first hunt, or like first like time on
I think
Earth.
it's implied. I think it's implied this is the first time the predators came to Earth.
Yeah. Well, I see that, but I also see people saying it's first time just with this specific predator.
But that might be them covering their ass in case they want to do like a samurai versus
I
predator
would
thing.
love to see a samurai or a
That
knights
is no.
or a
Okay,
knights
okay.
templar. I would love to see that.
You say you bring up samurai, and there is talks about a sequel to Prey
I have been hearing about that,
with regarding going back to feudal Japan era.
and I would go if
And
they better release it in cinemas because I will go see it. Um,
I want to see a Prey slash Predator movie in the style of Seven Samurai. Holy shit! Imagine.
I want to see like
Oh
how
my god.
different cultures and civilizations take. I want to see one with like the Knights Templar,
Yo,
with like
yo,
these
yo! Imagine this.
giant like long swords and broadswords. It
Imagine
would be
this.
so cool.
World War I. World War I,
Oh,
like
yes,
trench warfare, but then there's also the predator.
that would be sick.
Actually, Chris, I wanted to ask you this since you're a resident physique nerd.
Yeah.
Since your special interest is men's bodies. What did you
Great.
what did
Love it,
you think?
man.
That is definitely a way to describe it.
Chris, what did you think about the physique of the predator? Because I'm actually interested to hear your opinion on it.
It's a fucking alien. How am I supposed to like?
Well, it's an anthropomorphic not anthropomorphic.
All right.
It is a bipedal humanoid until it gets to the head. And like Kaya just brought up all the stuff when it comes to like the legit, because clearly the Predator films are good when there's a decent amount of effort put into like how does it hunt and why does it hunt in this way.
I'm gonna link
So
the
like
video for y'all.
um so what did you think about the physiology and the the overall style, the fighting style of the Predator?
The fighting style was basically, oh yes, I am half bulletproof, have a shield that kills you, and I shoot you with tracking spear darts essentially. So can't say it's not effective. Uh, I will say in terms of like damage reduction, he put himself in way too much danger, but then again that highlights the vainness of these creatures. You know, I can just show up, you can shoot me a little bit, okay, you're the aggressor, and I don't have to go to court with you, and then I can just kill you. Great, cool. I still like, okay, I'll put like, actually no, I've already put that there. So really long quads, so he looks more like an endurance runner than anything else. But with how fucking tall he is, I don't know, man. Like he's got abs on his abs, so I guess that would help with like trunk flexion, uh, and probably going to like 90-degree bends, like reverse with his fucking abs and then crunching back up. That's great. That's cool. Like, what do you want me to say here? It's
I
a
don't know.
suit. I mean,
True,
if we
but
were to go to the guy who plays him, which is like an ex NBL player who is like 6'7" and overheads like 100 kilos for like 5. Yeah, that's a strong person.
He's 6'8".
No, great. I was off by an inch.
Holy shit, he's 2.3 meters tall.
Yeah,
he
that's
was
what
in a
6'8"
Doja Cat
is.
music video.
Oh,
So, hey,
that is
what?
insane.
Yeah, would you believe that the original Predator, I believe, was about 7 feet tall?
Yeah, he was very close to it.
Original Predator actor, I swear he was 7 feet tall at time of film.
Oh yeah, fun fact for everyone listening, whilst Chris looks that up, the noise that the Predator makes. I
Oh.
told Kaya this, but here's a fun
Uh,
fact. That's Optimus Prime.
It's
Oh,
Yeah.
Peter
Um,
Cullen.
Peter Cullen. Yeah, Peter Cullen. He did that.
Bumblebee,
Um,
stop lubricating
oh,
the man.
by the way, original Predator was Kevin Peter Hall, who was 7'2".
Christ
Jesus.
alive.
God.
So, like,
Um,
I think if you put Arnold next to him, which was 6 foot tall, um, I think that this guy would have. He's got to be at least 120 something kilos, height and weight. Kevin Peter Hall height. No.
hmm. But um, but butt cheeks. Yeah, the person who did the Predator, the Yautja's animal sound was actually Peter Cullen. Turns out on his resume he has a bunch of animal sounds. I think he did King Kong as well.
What?
Um, yeah, I'll summarize the story because we've been recording for like an hour now. But
Almost an
Yeah.
hour.
basically, basically apparently Peter Cullen had to like fight tooth and nail just to see the thing's face because he told the executives, I can't I can't like I can't make a noise if I don't know what it looks like. And they were like, oh yeah, but it's a big reveal and we don't really want to show you. Until eventually they relented and they showed him. And he said that when he looked at the Yautja, he immediately got like the vision of like when he was a boy and he saw decaying, dying crabs on the beach like popping, and so he got like
What?
really yeah
Is
he had
that what
really
happens to crabs? What?
yeah, like when
If
they
they're
die,
rotting,
yeah, they're rotting. Like oxygen starts to pop the back of their shells.
I thought it was. I don't know what gases are released when
Oh
fucking
yeah,
crabs
yeah, yeah.
decay.
Yeah, it's like whales
Yeah,
explode.
yeah. So he saw that and he got really close to the mic and he just did this really subtle sound. And then the executive was like, "Ah, I can't believe we had to spend so much time and resources to get this done." And he goes in there to listen to it, real grumpy. And he comes out going, "Yep, that's really good. You get paid double, Peter." Uh, and that's where the iconic chittering of the predator comes from.
Oh.
It's crazy that it's Optimus Prime.
It
Mm.
is. It is
Let
crazy.
them come.
Huh?
Well,
I
No.
wanna, I wanna see, I wanna see, I wanna see Optimus versus the Predator now.
I gotta
Dude, the
wonder
Predator's
how
gonna
heavy.
fucking lose that.
I gotta wonder how heavy the Prey Predator suit was, because the original was like over 200 pounds.
well, actually, fuck, you raise a good point. Um, I mean,
They probably
yeah,
like they got better resources and technology. They've probably been able to like
Uh,
streamline it or make it not as heavy.
okay, so apparently it was 80 pounds in the new Prey movie.
Yeah,
So, yeah. Also,
80 pounds
200
isn't that bad.
pounds that's fucking
It's
crazy. You
that's
never
partly
knew.
probably because the head of the original Predator is fucking huge, and also because
oh
it's
yeah,
got
it
like
also
a
had
bunch of like
animatronics.
it has like shit on its back and stuff like more than in this movie,
Oh yeah.
so that'd add to the
Also,
weight.
also in this film, they didn't actually. In the original film, if I do remember, I think the Predator mask actually has animatronics on it. So
Yeah.
because they didn't have very good CGI, so it has animatronics to make it open its mouth and whatnot. But this one, they cleverly use CGI for the mouth part, and I don't care what anyone wants to comment. If CGI can make something easier for someone else to wear that for like 8 hours at a time, I am pro CGI in that account. That is,
Yeah, I really really like the fact that they had like they still, even though they very well could have done a full CGI Predator, they still used an actual suit and stuff, but like they like cleverly inserted CGI in just like some elements. Like It's like with like motion capture and all that sort of shit. Like um I forget what movie it is, but like they had like only motion capture on some, but like on the face. Everything else was like an actual like costume.
Mm.
I forget what it was. I may just
What's
be
this?
that I may just be spinning that out of my ass. I don't actually know if that's true or not.
No,
Um,
no,
Sorry.
that does happen.
What's
Chris?
this? I zoned out for this. What's the subject?
It's just motion tracking in relation to having like a physical suit, but then motion tracking the head as a way of giving a sense of realism. But particularly in this case, the Predator, it would have been like unwieldy and probably way out of their budget to make like a full animatronic head.
yeah, because it did have a pretty low budget as far as I'm aware. Hold on, I'll check.
Also, here's the 7'2" man, like in suit with the head off.
Oh Christ!
Oh damn.
The
7'2"
budget,
and
holy shit, the budget was
270 pounds.
65 million.
Okay, shit, they made this on 65 million.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Marvel, take a note. God damn. Bro, the fact that they did this all in 65 million, and they were also like, hey, here's a bunch of wide shots to flex that we filmed on location.
God,
But
they filmed on location for pretty much everything. I don't think there may have been one or two shots that they didn't film on location, and it's so fucking cool.
oh yeah,
I
but
love on location.
outside of jacking off the cinematography, praising the pretty decent sound design, and the final confrontation, uh, please, I know we've said a lot about this movie, but if you haven't watched it, please go watch it. It is a brilliant film.
Genuinely
Uh,
so good. I literally the only reason why it's not like a 10 for me, I didn't really have many issues with it. It's just not my type of movie typically. I'm not a big alien sci-fi fan, but I still
the
really
only
like
reason
enjoyed it.
The only reason it's an 8 out of 10 for me, and not like a 10 out of 10 or 9 out of 10, is because once you go beyond a 7 is like a good for me. Like a 7 is a good. Once you start going beyond 7, it's like the smaller issues start taking off points. I do have some small issues about some of the parts of the story. I think sometimes the sexism was a little bit comical. Um, and I thought sometimes it detracted, but overall, after the initial part of the movie, the film is just an absolute delight. Um, but on to cookies.
I do have just
Um,
like one minor complaint, and it's the same complaint I had with Nope. It just was nowhere near as prevalent. There was just one or two scenes that it was really, really excessively dark. But it
Yeah.
was not as big of an offender as Nope. And before anyone says glare or anything, I watched this with the lights off at night.
What was the horrific moments?
Huh?
was it like the lion and tree thing, or was it near
Yeah,
the end?
yeah.
Yeah.
It was the lion hunt scene. I just like I
It's
can't
funny.
tell what's
It's
happening,
it's funny
but it
because
sounds cool.
I fucking called that one.
Huh?
Oh
yeah.
man.
It's funny. I'll tell you this. Actually, Chris can help me out here. But like when we were watching that scene, Chris hated the guy who got mauled by the lion because he was like,
He was.
the, he was so stupid. He was like, a hunter does not wait. Uh,
Yes, it
and
fucking does.
Yes, yes they
they
do.
fucking
Yes they
do.
fucking do.
And then they're sitting there, and Chris is going, "Don't hang your legs off the tree. You're gonna die."
You're
And
just
lo
gonna get
and
ripped off
behold,
that fucker.
and lo and behold, you get ripped off and mauled to death.
Oh, that stupid fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, it's good to know that his
Oh.
stupidity killed him. But as for
Yeah.
cookies, I've put some thought and effort into mine. My cookie is going to Tabe, and other people can give him a cookie
I
too
think
if they
all
want.
of us are doing Tabe.
No,
Tabe,
I'm doing the Predator here. Predator
Tab-
wins.
Tabe was a Chad in this film. He was a really well-rounded character.
Best
I like
character.
the fact that I like the fact that he was. I like the fact that he had confidence, but he wasn't
Overconfident.
yeah, he had confidence, but he wasn't overconfident. He was really emotional, really positive masculinity vibes, and also
He was a bit of an asshole at the beginning, though.
Yeah, but that was because of his sister's arrogance, and his character arc goes through it where he learns to trust his sister a lot more. He has the expectation of his tribe upon him, and because of that, he lashes out at his own sister. But through
Character development.
yeah, but through him realizing that they work better together as a team than individual and against each other, he is able to help her actually severely wound the predator and end up killing him, even though he dies. Spoiler alert.
I started crying.
Um, he serves as like also a mentor to um Naru. But anyway, he 1v1'd the predator and honestly gave it a good run for its money. Like,
The goat.
so I looked up what the Comanche Nation actually ate. For the most part, they didn't do a lot of like cooking in the sense of they wouldn't have made things like cookies, but I did notice that they ate a lot of wild berries. So I'm going to give him a mixed berry oatmeal cookie. Um, particularly, I think I was gonna choose like a wild berry oatmeal cookie, because I don't know, a lot of their diet was like bison meat and berries and the occasional roots that they were able to harvest. So I think that is something that he would actually be able to eat.
I'm gonna. I went a very similar route. I'm also giving Tubby my cookie, and I cried when he fucking died. Like, oh my god. I best fucking character. I'm giving him a Juneberry cookie because it's in Oklahoma, and Juneberries are a native berry to Oklahoma. So
Ooh.
Chris,
Okay.
what are you giving
I'm
the
I'm gonna I'm
predator?
gonna one up you there and have a very specific berry, Alex. Fuck you.
Oh, fuck you.
Fuck you.
I'm giving the predator a Tabe skull cookie.
What the
Oh
fuck,
my
man?
god. Oh my god.
You fucking can't.
Oh yeah, one final note. Also, Tabe actually got the predator in the leg with the coyote skull from the start of from when he killed the coyote and beheaded him,
Let's
which I
go.
thought which I thought was a really good Chekhov's gun moment. Like,
Oh
why
my
was that
god,
scene
I
there?
didn't even bring up some of the Chekhov gun moments I noticed.
This sounds like Bullet Train. Cameron?
I am going to have a very lazy answer because I didn't think about this until recording. Um, I'm going to give Naru's dog a cookie,
Oh my god, a
and
dog!
specifically one made for dogs.
The buffalo meat cookie.
Yeah,
Buffalo meat cookie. Meat
buffalo meat cookie.
Meat cookie.
Ugh. At that point, it's just a beef patty.
Exactly.
A meatloaf cookie.
Oh. Anyway, Cameron, yes?
That's my cookie.
Oh, okay.
Well, anyway, let me. I hope you've enjoyed the recording. We've given you a lot of everything today. We've given you information on how Neolithic tools were created, which was actually a surprisingly interesting conversation.
I'm gonna
Oh.
link all the links that we were looking at. I'm gonna link them all in the description for y'all if you want to check them out.
Oh, by the way, just in case anyone comments
Bruh.
about the fucking hand axes existing, they didn't have handles, so I am correct.
Brother. Okay, before we spin
Anyone who comes to the
spin the
podcast,
real predictions.
Okay, everyone. We'll start with Chris, since you were the first topic in this episode. What do you predict?
Oh, fuck. Kung Fu Panda.
Oh, I would love to watch Kung Fu Panda.
Oh shit. Okay.
Hey,
Um,
My childhood.
oh yeah, did you change my
Shit.
movie?
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't get around to doing that. It was Jennifer's Body, right?
No, we're putting a formal. Actually, yeah, Jennifer's Body. We'll leave
I know-
we'll
oh,
leave
shit,
Full
I
Monty
actually need to
to
check
we'll
my
leave Full
list.
Monty to season 2.
Yeah, no, don't
I
worry.
need to-
It was, for everyone listening, it was a film that would have been in a little bit poor taste if we got it right now.
Very very poor
Uh,
taste.
What was
I actually can't remember what was on my
It's
list.
it's an Israeli
Well,
film.
if you can,
Ah.
you can look on my stream camera, and I have a lot of the films here.
Um, I am going to predict. You know what? I'd like to watch Hellraiser.
Okay, continue the horror trend.
I'd like to watch Hellraiser.
You can guess how many movies you want, by the way. I did this.
I would like to watch. Ooh, both Mad God and I am going to predict End of Evangelion.
Oh my god. We almost got it last week. We almost got
I
it.
really want it. We got so close.
I'm also gonna.
End of
I'm also just gonna
Evangelion
throw
without
in.
context.
I'm also gonna throw in Sharknado 5 in the prediction
Oh my
spear.
god, of course.
I'm also gonna go End of Evangelion, but I'm also gonna say 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Ooh.
And and
'Cause I need a movie.
yeah, I'm just gonna say anything from Cameron's list, but if it's not from, I pray to God we don't get Watchmen. That's the only thing. If we get Watchmen
I
right now,
pray to God we get Watchmen.
Chris, it's directed by Zack Snyder.
Never mind.
Never mind.
Never mind.
All right,
Never
spin
mind.
that wheel.
Zack Snyder, the movie.
Please.
Oh my god,
Please,
what is
no,
it?
please,
Oh.
no, please.
Oh.
Drive.
Oh my god. Oh my god, Alex.
It'll be Drive. No.
Yeah!
Okay,
Space
right
Space
on the
Odyssey.
track.
Finally,
Space
we
Odyssey.
finally got Space Odyssey.
We got a
finally
Cameron
got
movie.
We finally got a me
Finally got a
movie.
camera movie.
We got a Cameron movie. Let's go.
Yippee.
Oh god, that means I have to. Oh. That means I have to watch Space Odyssey. Bro, the only
Yeah,
reason
L.
this movie is on the list is because, like, well, part of the reason is because Cameron
Okay.
and I were talking about the fact that I don't want to watch the movie. And I was just like, you put this on this list just to make me watch it, didn't you?
It's also one of my favorite movies of all time.
That's true.
I've
Thank
never
you.
watched
It was my
But I
number
also-
one movie of all time for a while.
But what is your number one now?
It's conflicted.
The new Ghostbusters movie.
Oh hell yeah, that's my go.
I am so glad we did not get Watchmen. I think that might have actually just died if we got Watchmen.
Wait, so Alex,
mean,
you were
you are
correct. We
currently
got
in the
Space
middle of it.
Odyssey.
Oh shit, let's go. I don't know, I thought it was
Alex
funny
is the
because
only one who's gotten these like right so far because like
I'm rigged.
Alex predicted they cloned Tyrone as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm psychic. What can I say? Look, no one watching would know this, but part of the reason I suggested we watch this podcast is because I think Cameron wanted Kaya to watch 2001: A Space Odyssey, and then Kaya wanted Cameron to watch something else.
No, that's a different thing entirely. Because I said that if I watch a Space Odyssey, Cameron has to watch Alice in Borderland, which is a 2-season TV series. But no, the reason
Yeah, that's alright.
the reason why we started the podcast was because Cameron and I argued about film often, and we wanted a healthy space to talk about it.
Yeah, Chris and I are just here as mediators and shit stirrers.
Alex is the
Anyway,
mediator, Chris is the shit stirrer.
Yeah, Chris is the one that makes us watch Jack Black films. So
I may actually change a movie on my list.
Will you add
Oh,
a Jack
sick.
Black film?
And that is Battle Royale.
I thought we
No.
put that on the list so that we could compare it to Hunger Games.
To the first Hunger Games movie, yes. And I'm tempted to change it to something else.
What do you want to change it to?
Seven Samurai.
Oh!
Yeah, that's why I'm conflicted.
Oh!
We'll consult on this. Viewers, thank you for bearing through a fairly long episode.
It actually is about as long as the Kubo episode.
Oh, shit.
Let's go. Well, there was no tears in this one, and I know I kind of like this recording. I may
Or
be
technical
incredibly sick.
difficulties.
I may be incredibly sick, but I hope you learned something today. Keep safe out there. Keep on chugging on, and we'll see you next week with 2001: A Space Odyssey.
In the cookie
Yippee.
jar. Yippee!
I'm gonna come in the groovy jar.
Huh?